All right.
Good morning.
I guess no one wants to talk about business plans today, huh?
Nope.
Well, I will tell you. I'll tell you one thing, which is sometimes in this business we have to do things and learn about things that aren't necessarily on the top of our list, but we know that they're going to benefit us. So I want to personally express my gratitude to you guys for being here, even if it's under duress. Okay, maybe you will hear something that will change the way you think about the business and will give you all the energy you need to go out and win the day. Okay, so um, while we got a little small group here today, anything, any hot topics that are on your mind that you want to go over?
Hey, Bill, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, I typically enter the listening through the bridge on FMLS,
Okay.
and I seen that it's going away. So I wanted to know, what does that detail? Does it just mean we have to go into both the MLS and FMLS in order to put the listeners in now, or I
Pam,
just wanted to get more information.
Pam, can you take that question?
Yes, you can go into, can I share my screen, Bill, and I'll do it?
Oh, yeah, give me just a second and I will. Okay, you should be good now.
Okay, hang on. Let me,
Good question, Markia. We're gonna, it's been a little while since I've personally put a listing in, so we're gonna make sure that the appropriate person answers that question.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. While Pam you need a minute, Pam?
well, yeah, I'm trying to get to, I'm not sure, it looks like I'm not sharing the right screen and I'm trying to figure out which screen to share. Oh, hang on. I just forget to click the share button on it.
All right, there we go.
Problem. Okay.
So you start in Georgia MLS, is that what you're saying?
No, you enter it into FMLS first.
Okay.
Then you get your FMLS number and you come into Georgia MLS and see this ditto. That will allow you, where do you want to send the listing? You want to send it to Georgia MLS because you got it from FMLS. So where do you want to get the listing? From FMLS. And then you enter the listing number and then it will pull everything in here. Now, Georgia MLS,
Awesome.
yeah, it is. It worked. I like it better than I did Bridge, honestly. It just, with my brain, it's like do one at a time. And Georgia MLS has some different fields, that they may require. So you have to, double check what you're entering in there.
Okay, and then while we got you on the phone and we've got this topic, can you briefly, what steps do you take with respect to KWLS to make sure that it's everywhere it needs to be? Can you chat on that for a moment?
Since everything has gone into command, I have not done anything. But it goes out to all the site. It has gone out to all the sites regardless.
Okay. Yeah, they're doing a pretty massive update to KWLS, but if you
Yeah.
go in through command, you can access KWLS. And what I've always done is just scanned, because basically it's pulling it from Georgia MLS, and you just want to make sure that everything is accurate, right? And sometimes it gives you some additional ability to add some more phrases and some more characters and that kind of thing, so you can optimize it that way. By
Right.
the way, while I'm looking at Pam's screen, can I point something out real fast? You see all these bookmarks here: social media, real estate, resources, new homes. Look at how beautiful that is. Whoa, go back to the new homes. Whoa, that is really beautiful.
Well, and if you'll see, there's an arrow down at the very bottom. There's more.
Yeah.
So
So those are the websites of the builders, or most of the builders, right?
yes, and this Atlanta New Home Source is a great resource to see what's out there for new builders.
Right. And so like I have one that says Zoom, and like the 5 or 6 Zoom rooms that I'm in most often, I just have them categorized, right? And for websites or for, other brokerages websites so I can see agents, right? I got all that stuff bookmarked, so it's super easy. So you can bookmark Candace's room in my room and, KW Roswell training and all these kind of things, right?
Yeah, and I have like the KW training, Sam, Marty Miller, the team meeting, Durrell. I started them over here. Oh, sorry, somebody was taking a picture. Did I mess you up?
No, it's good.
Okay. I just heard it. I heard the click, the sound from it. And then, real estate, I just linked to, I started with real estate, and when it got so big, I added real estate resources. So
Love
there's not necessarily a big rhyme or reason to it.
So I have a question. I
Go
did
ahead.
not know you could make folders like this for your bookmarks. How do you do that?
Right here, see if you want to, well, this one's already in it, but let's see if it'll do it for
But how
me.
do you make the folder? Like I just have single ones and then one long list somewhere else. I don't know how to do the folder.
When you add to your favorites, you just make it a bookmark, and then you can add to your
Then it-
favorites into the bookmark.
Oh, you
And see,
create a folder underneath it.
Yeah, once you added the bookmark, once you said you want to add a bookmark, you say the folder, and then this just came up.
Yeah.
And then you can do it, or you can choose another folder where you can enter a name of a folder.
That's brilliant. Like that's my tip of the day right there. I had no idea.
Yeah.
See what kind of great stuff you get from showing up at 8:30?
Exactly.
And then here's just things when I hear like where to order items from people, for gifts and stuff. I mean, and this is more like real estate related, not personal. Like the shopping and the personal stuff and social media, that's mostly my personal stuff. But this gifts is more like, place to order, like this customized cutting boards, which I now get mostly from, what's his name? James Riggs Brewer.
Yeah. What's command links?
What
To the right. No, to the bookmark.
Oh, that was when we first started Command, and I just started doing that. And so I don't ever use it. I need to delete it because I just have Command under here now.
That's awesome.
So, and
Oh, look,
most of them I try to keep in
famous.
like alphabetical order or something, but this
Zoom,
one,
Zoom Bill, Zoom Candace,
yep.
PC YouTube, PC Google Drive, PC results. This was not a setup, guys.
A happy accident.
It's a happy accident. Thank you, Pam, for sharing that. Does anyone else have any questions on this page while we're thinking about it? Oh yeah, show us what that is.
Okay, this is where you can subscribe to it for like, I don't know, it's like $11 or $12 a month, but it's a weekend and you need some information to put in for a legal description. And I'm not sure I remember my password here. But gscca.org is the Georgia Superior Court something Clerks Cooperative Authority. There it is. And you go to search. And you have to set up an account, but you don't, you can get the like deed book and page number without having an account, without having to pay. So you go to the, oh, I guess I had it kept to log me in. So say you enter the county, and then I put in, this was somebody's last name where I was looking it up, looking up their information, and then I do search. Oh, here's where I have to log in. I don't remember my login info.
So
But
for free, it'll show you what the deed book page and plat page and all that is, which is good enough for
just the deed book and page number is what I get from it. But that's good enough. That's one of the options on the legal description.
Exactly. If you want the full legal description, you either need to pay for the service and then you can print it out yourself, or you can just email Kern and she'll give it to you for free.
Right.
Thank you. That was helpful.
Yeah,
I hate when I see a listing and it's blank there. Thank you.
You're welcome. And like I said, you set up an account and you don't have to, you don't have to pay for this part to just get the deed book and page number.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm not a big fan of what you just said, Ebony. I mean, not what you said, but the fact of what you said, which is we got a lot of lazy agents out there. And if they earned a listing and they can't even like present it appropriately and make it easy for their cooperating agent to do their job, you just better check the paperwork, because if that's how they treat their business, you got to watch everything they do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, while we're on the topic of new tools, Heather, are you in a place where you could share the information that about Ribbon that we talked about earlier today?
Yeah.
What is Ribbon?
Okay, so I just took the thing yesterday to get certified. It's kind of like I work with a company, Dream America, which is like a rent to own company, but not quite. That's not what their like end result is. It's a company where they offer your buyer a cash offer for the house, and then for 2.4% is the cost of the program. And what it is they offer cash, so they take any buyer and turn them into a cash offer. And then when your buyer still goes through the process of getting like pre-approved and they get their loan and everything. So Ribbon will, when you make an offer on a house, you submit the pre-approval letter to Ribbon, and then the property address, and then Ribbon approves your buyer and they approve the address, and then they give what they think the house will appraise for, and they'll give you a number, and then you're allowed to offer the cash offer plus an appraisal guarantee of whatever Ribbon thinks the house will appraise for. And then if your offer wins and the house doesn't appraise, Ribbon will eat the cost of that appraisal, the appraisal gap in between, and your buyer isn't going to have to pay the difference. And I 50 million questioned them because I thought that was absolute crap and there was no way they would do that, but it's like a legit thing. They will do it. And then there's different, like you can either use that or you can use like, there's different other little programs within Ribbon that you can also use, like Ribbon Boost, where they just kind of like guarantee that, like, I guess if your buyer can't close, they can come in and close the deal with cash. So it's still kind of like a guarantee, but then your buyer doesn't have to sign up to like rent the house back from them. And they don't have to rent the house back for long. They literally get their loan in order, Ribbon buys the house, and then they turn around and buy the house back from Ribbon. But it's what's helping. I have a lot of friends that work at different market centers and with other companies, and they were not getting any offers one until they started using Ribbon. And then suddenly now, like, everything's getting accepted.
Okay, couple questions on that. We could turn this into a 2-hour meeting. So I would just, I don't want to go necessarily in that direction, but I just looked at ribbon.com. That doesn't work. What is the website?
Let me pull up my email that I just got from Ribbon. Hang on one second.
Okay. And the certification process that you've gone through, it's free, I assume, right?
Yeah, it was an hour. That was
Okay.
it.
I
So
took it
guys,
yesterday too.
the takeaway here is that every complication that you are dealing with in the marketplace, right? 60 offers, you can't get a buyer to win, right? Well, why can't you win? Because you got appraisal gap issues, you got financing issues, they want a cash offer, they want closing costs, all these kind of things. And you may be working with a buyer that's just not capable of putting that together for a variety of reasons. Whenever there's a problem in the marketplace, there's generally somebody that's going to come up with a solution, right? And by the way, nothing's stopping you from coming up with a solution, right? However, Ribbon is just another example of ribbonhome.com is probably what it is. Nothing is stopping you. Thank you, Pam. Is that right?
I just put it in the chat.
Yeah, and Pam's, you guys are awesome teammates today. Look at this. Ribbonhome.com, Pam's on that site right now. You guys can learn a little bit more about their product and their fees and how it all works, and position yourself as this is, as we always say, this is just another tool in our tool belt, because it may not be a fit for every single person. But you as a business professional out there trying to solve the consumer's problems should be aware of a solution like this, because it may be the difference between you getting a deal in place or you not getting a deal in place. Make sense? Cool. Thanks for sharing all that. Yes, Greta.
Just gonna
The links didn't work.
There's an email.
Yeah, I was just assuming it was ribbon.com. Apparently they they weren't willing to spend the $16,900 for the domain name, so they just bought ribbonhome.com.
The email to the contact is in the chat.
Okay, cool. Greta, what was your question?
I was just gonna say, I took that training yesterday with her, and they will do a market center specific training. If you have 10 people that want to do it, they'll do it for just us. And it's actually the ones that I've trained, I think it might be my favorite because it's just 1%. If you don't use them, their money, it's just a 1%, like a guarantee. You don't pay. And if you walk away during the inspection or due diligence, you don't pay them anything, which is nice.
Wow.
I'm not sure I understand what you're saying about the 1%.
It's the 1%. You have to put the 2.4%. In Georgia, you have to put 2.4% of earnest money down so that their money's there if you use them to buy with cash. But if your financing goes through and you don't need them, you don't need their cash, it's just a 1% that you pay them for having the addendum or whatever you call it on the contract that makes you appear as a cash offer.
So who pays them that? Is it the agent that pays it, or is it coming out of that 2.4% of the earnest money?
It's coming out of the earnest money. It's the client that pays. It doesn't affect your commission.
Cool.
Okay.
So there's I'll mention that at the leadership meeting this morning. I can't imagine that we couldn't get at least 10 people together to be interested in a product like this. So Heather, thanks for bringing it to our attention. Greta and Heather, thank you for sharing your the summary and your notes and answering a couple questions. I've got probably about 40 questions on my mind right now about it. So I'm excited to all learn more. Thank you.
I can send you the slides from the training if you want me to email them.
That'll probably only answer like maybe 2 or 3 of my questions, but that would be wonderful.
Okay.
Heather, can you send them to me? I'm interested. I am not that.
Put them in the WhatsApp group if you don't mind.
Yeah, let me see if I can do that. Let me see if I can put them in the WhatsApp.
All right, beautiful. Or you can send them to me. I can put them in the WhatsApp, whatever you need.
Okay, I'll try to put them in WhatsApp. If not, I'll email them to you.
Cool. Who else has used some cool strategies lately that they would like to share, or any other positive news that they'd like to share before I chat with you for a moment about the business plan? Anyone? Okay. Couple of just a quick reminder. There are a number of slots left for one-on-ones tomorrow and one-on-ones next Wednesday. So regardless of your production experience, whatever, small group, one-on-one, this is totally above and beyond what we normally do. So if you have not registered for a slot on Friday, tomorrow, or next Wednesday, please do as soon as possible. As soon as those fill up, we'll open a few more slots. The goal is to speak with every one of you for Candace and I for 15 minutes, just so we know exactly, we're just kind of regrouping, right? Where you are, where you want to be, kind of what you're needing the most help with right now. We've got a series of questions. I'm sure you'll have some questions for us. So please make sure that you book an appointment with us. That'd be awesome. Okay. Candace, do you want to add anything?
Bill, how do we book an appointment?
I will see if I can pull up the link again, but it is the Calendly link that I posted a few days ago. I'm posting it again right now.
Thank you.
I'll post it in the WhatsApp chat. And if you could click on that, that would be wonderful. Luz and I will probably open up a few more slots today for probably sometime into next week. Okay. Oh, one more thing I want to chat about. Who was on the Chartmasters session yesterday morning? Tell me what you learned. Did they give it kind of a, what nuggets did you pick up from that session?
I took so many notes. It was mainly like, it was a really good breakdown of every chart, and that to be very selective about which charts that I use and how I present them to either a buyer or a seller.
Yes.
There's a few that are like, I have like numbered and bookmarked. I know Corey was going through at the same time. We were both taking notes on like buyer seller side, what would be the most effective tool to use, but I guess the biggest, like the umbrella point that I took away was that if you go in with data or data, depending upon your accent or pronunciation preference, it makes you a lot more,
Valid.
yeah, it validates your position and makes you appear like the expert, and that's why we use it.
And it takes like it defends your opinion, if you will.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, if you go in there and you're like, hey, it's a really strong seller's market, you got to do this. They're like, I don't know if I trust you. When you show them, look, 60% of the homes that go under contract or that are listed are going to have multiple offers. So if you want to lose, that's fine. But I'm just telling you right now, right? So it's a whole different. It's communicating the same message with more detail and more validity.
Yeah.
Did you catch Leslie's comment about the pipeline?
Yes, I did.
That wasn't directed at you specifically, but she said double the size of your pipeline. So now we're talking about 6 times the number of units you want to sell. That pipeline can never get too big, guys. Does that make sense? Because people will go away. I got a text from probably one of my first like serious clients that I got on my own. Okay, just texted me last night. We've been playing phone tag for a few days. And he said, oh, I'm already under contract with some house way south of the city, so I wouldn't have been able to help him anyway. But he wants me to sell his house in Marietta. And he said he's under some kind of Zillow contract. So now I got to learn a little bit more about what that's all about. But I think he got kind of snaked by Zillow a little bit. And like Leslie said yesterday, like they want what they want and they want it fast. And if they can't get it from you, they're going to go get it from somebody else. And there's not much loyalty anymore. So we've been talking about building a moat around your business for years at Keller Williams. What that is that we make certain that the people in our network don't make real estate decisions without speaking to us first. That is the most powerful idea that you can communicate to your people is, look, there's a lot of information out there and there's a lot of misinformation out there. So regardless of whether you think I'm the best resource for you, for this particular question, call me. I want to make sure I can help you identify what's information and what's misinformation. Does that make sense? Everyone clear on that?
Yes.
So, okay, perfect. Anyone else want to make a comment about Chartmasters?
I did find it interesting that Leslie pointed out that sometimes you lean more heavily on the data and sometimes you lean more heavily on the emotion of the story. And that's knowing your client.
Right. And interestingly, oftentimes it's doing the opposite of what your client's doing. Right. So if they tend to be very data driven and that's causing them not to win, right, then you may need to bring in the emotions of why they called you in the first place. If they tend to be very emotional and they're making very emotional decisions and it's causing them not to win, then you oftentimes need to present them with additional data, right? So it's very interesting. Sometimes it's like, well, 44% of people are not getting closing costs paid, so I want closing costs paid. And it's causing them to lose, right? It's like, okay, stop focusing on the data. You're losing the houses, the right house time after time after time for your family. Do you want the house, or are you going to get hung up on a few $1,000s of closing costs? You see what I'm saying? Okay, let's talk about the business plan for 1 second. Pam, can you unshare for me for a second?
I'll try. Let's see.
I've never tried to both.
I think you just take it back. I think you go back to.
But I'm gonna try to share my screen and let's see what happens.
There, I did stop sharing and went back to you.
Okay, so guys, remember that this was our business plan for the second quarter of 2021. Now, I understand that not every single person committed to this exact plan, but my hope is that there is some form of a plan that you have committed to. And my also hope is that you look at it every single day. Okay. Now this is the kind of the GPS version of the plan. And this, and I'm actually going to, this will hold me accountable. I'm actually going to send this to you guys today. This is my 411. Okay. So what I've always said is this is kind of the plan that you tend to look at maybe like once a month or so. And this you look at every single day. Okay. And this is showing you the metrics of, hey, I said I'm going to talk to 20 people a day. Did I do it? How many did I do it? Am I ahead? Am I behind? What do I need to do tomorrow to catch back up, etc. Right? Remember that most of the things on this page are either deadline oriented or metric oriented, right? Saying I'm going to host open houses is just too vague, right? It should be, I'm going to host 2 open houses on Saturday. I'm going to host 3 open houses on Sunday, and I'm going to host 1 open house on a Thursday, right? If you intend to push the open house lever hard in the second quarter, let's get serious about it, right? And if you woke up this morning, and this is going to sound a little harsh, if you woke up this morning and you don't have an active seller to go help or an active buyer to go help, you're basically unemployed. And your job today is to go find that, right? Does that make sense? If you wake up feeling like you're unemployed every morning, you'll get after it. And then you'll have so many clients you won't know what to do with them, and you can just build a team and refer them away, right? Come on now. This is tough. Candace and I are the only ones on video. This is tough.
And I don't have any makeup on yet, so it's not pretty.
I didn't wear any makeup today either. Greta, I love it. Love it. Okay, so let's just review this really fast. The pillars of a plan, there's kind of 2 pillars in my opinion, or there's 2 ways to do this. And I keep wavering back and forth. I think the more experienced of an agent you are, this is probably the better model. Okay, that if you want to close a certain number of units, we should be focusing on 3 primary things. One is you got to get the appointments. Whatever it takes to get the appointments, you got to do that. Secondly, is you got to be focused on the size and the growth of your database. And thirdly, you need accountability. Okay. The other way that I've taught you guys to do this is by saying, I need 6 units closed in this quarter. So what are my favorite 3 lead generation strategies that I'm going to execute on during this time period so that I can book enough appointments to make this thing work? So you can do it either way you want. I just want you to have a plan. And we're nearly 1/3 of the way through our plan. Meaning if you want 6 units closed, really you need 6 things under contract before the end of next month, or they're probably not going to close in the second quarter, right? So this is a real important month, the month of May, okay? So just to give you a reminder, we put metrics to the number of appointments, right? 6 per month. If you don't want to do this, you want to sell 3 units in the second quarter, that's fine. Just cut all these numbers in half, no judgment, okay? However, if you want 6 units, we're going to go on 6 appointments a month, which is 18 total. If I told you, hey, Pam, I got a gig for you. You're going to sell 6 units in the next 3 months. You're going to make about, what would that be? About 60 grand. And all I need you to simply do is go on 18 appointments over the course of the next 3 months. You cool with that? There is not a single person in town that would say no to that. Right? So this is a super simple way to take your business to the next level, right? So how's that going to happen? We're going to have conversations with people, right? How many? I said 20. We have to have a social media plan and a video strategy maybe, right? So what if you went and took the ribbon class, and remember how the other day when we were doing the video texting and Candace taught us about identifying a problem in the marketplace and then identifying a solution to that problem and sharing the news with your people, right? This is a problem, right? If you have a financed offer, you aren't as attractive as a cash offer. Okay, don't have the cash? I got a solution for you. It's called Ribbon. Here's a 20-second explanation of what it does or a 10-second explanation of what it does. You got more questions? Let's talk. Coffee's on me, right? Cocktails on me. Let's get together. Make sense? So what's your plan for that? This is something, again, some of these you may like to do, some you may not like to do, but Zoom meetings with other professionals, right? Sharing your app or neighborhood nurture. surprising and delighting somebody every single day, right? How do we add people to our database? And number one, how many do we want to add? So I said 60 a month. That's a roughly 3 a day. I think if we work anywhere close to a full-time job, probably anywhere close to a part-time job, you could add 3 people to your database a day, right? I think so, right? Maybe you do some command ads, door knocking, cold calling, whatever you got to do, right? Develop a vendor relationship database. Maybe you add 10 vendors to your database a week, right? Creating the pipeline of your hottest prospects. I shared a link yesterday in the chat. There's a group, by the way, called Lab Coat Agents. It's probably the most popular real estate professional Facebook group out there. There's well over 100,000 people in the group, I believe. It's run by 2 KW guys, one out of Michigan and one out of California. Real great guys. And there was a chat in there about, does anyone still use like a whiteboard to track their leads? And there was like hundreds of messages of people posting their whiteboards, right? On, you know, how they keep it organized. Is like, this is the possible section, the pending section, the, you know, all the dates that I need to worry about, my hottest prospects. That's essentially what I've been talking about as a visual pipeline forever, right? So if you guys were able to access that, there's a ton of ideas in there on how you can track your business. And if you say to yourself, well, I ain't got any business, or I only have a couple people, buy yourself a whiteboard and put those 2 names on there and stare at it all day. And then say to yourself, if I only got 2 people on this board, ain't no way I'm going to sell more than 3 houses. So I better add some more people to the board. Sometimes we need a reality check, right? You know, the other day I took a picture with somebody and I saw the picture. I'm like, damn, I need to go lose some weight, right? So like sometimes we just need a reality check. See what I'm saying? Okay. Hosting open houses. By the way, that's why I finally got off my ass and hired a personal trainer. If you guys have been hanging out with me, oh my gosh, we could go ask Susan. I've been sharing this with the leadership team for years, and that hire a personal trainer has been on this freaking 411 for several years. Okay. Sometimes we just need a reality check and then we decide to do something about it. Okay. By the way, that's public accountability. And although I'm not particularly interested in public accountability, I'm going to go with it anyway. Okay. What's your open house? What do you do for open houses? Or do you do open houses? How many? When are they going to happen? You know, what about, can we spend the next 2 months and 1 day putting together a client event for the people that we love the most? You know, maybe it's super simple. Maybe it's a Zoom, financial seminar, or maybe it's that sounds boring as hell. Who would go to that, right? Maybe it's a wine tasting, and you got a sommelier on the Zoom, and you deliver maybe 2 bottles of wine or something like that to 20 of your best friends, and you have a little tasting or something like that, right? Get creative. Let's maximize some of these tech tools that we have access to, right? And then accountability. Do you have a partner for your scripts and presentation practice, right? Think LeBron James is practicing his shots before every game? I think so. Are you practicing your performance, so to speak, before every game? You tell me. You see what I'm saying? Or when you gave that listing presentation to your last seller, was that the first time you had done that in months? And do you think it was done to the highest level possible? Let's just say that. Okay. Are you sharing your goals publicly? I guess I just did that. Partner for tracking activities and results, right? Do you have somebody? I used to have Andrea, the team leader in South Forsyth, and I for a long time. She was my accountability partner, and at the end of every day, we would text each other, set this number, held this number, hired this number. And she'd text me, I'd text her, and that was my method of staying on track all day. Is I knew that she's really good at her job, and she was going to text me some big numbers every day, and I didn't want to look like a schmo. See what I'm saying? So do you have anyone like that that's going to keep you on track? It doesn't have to be pushing you beyond where you want to be. it's holding you accountable to what you said you want, right? No matter how big or small the numbers are, right? Are you using the daily success list that we looked at yesterday to monitor your results, right? And are you building and respecting your calendar, right? So that's a form of accountability. So this is just an example, guys, of a super simple plan to make sure that you have everything, that you've laid the foundation properly. And you know, I just want to recognize that you know, I hope that you guys are, I mean, I've been in your shoes, right? And I know that what you're dealing with right now, being out there in the marketplace, is really tough. It's really, really tough. Okay. I know there is some really, really tough days. Okay. What I have said, Ebony and I were talking about this the other day. Like, look, if you don't think about leaving this business once a month, you're probably not talking to enough people. Okay. There's going to be some absolutely phenomenal, incredible, like you think you're in a dream days. And there's going to be some really crappy days. And you just got to have the faith that if you do the stuff over and over and over again, then the flowers are going to come out. Like those seeds are going to bloom. Okay. So hang in there. I know it's tough. I know it's tough. But as Gary Keller says, the biggest shifts in wealth occur at kind of the extremes of the shift, right? We're in an extreme market right now. Market share, there are some people who will not be able to take this, okay? And those that excel in this marketplace or develop habits to be successful in a market like this will come out of this market with incredible confidence, an incredible network, incredible resources and tools, and they're gonna crush it. It's like my business was built, Aubrey's business was built in the last downturn, and we had to do what we had to do to survive. And then when the market rebounded, I was like, damn, I don't have to work that hard at all to make a good living, right? Because I had developed some pretty ridiculous habits. You see what I'm saying? So just, you know, that time is coming, you guys. That time is coming. Anyone else want to add anything? Candace, you want to add anything?
No, I
No pressure.
totally. Who wanted to say something? Go ahead.
Oh, I just said no pressure, but I wanted to give you a chance to share something.
Oh, yeah, I think exactly what you said, that the market always changes. And for those of you who are getting started in this market and you survive it, which I know you will, you'll have some chops when things get easier, and it will get easier. It will get a little bit more balanced, where actually you'll have time to shop for a buyer. It's going to change. It's going to change always that the buyer is now online. It won't be like the old days when we had to find the home for them. But still, if you're online every day in the morning and you've got a buyer, you can definitely be the first one to find the home. I've still been able to do that in this market, and it's rewarding when you know that you're the reason they found the home.
That's great.
I also think that you know, you're going to be so amazing at submitting offers because of this experience that's just gonna make you some of the best agents in the industry.
Yeah, Ebony and Greta, I think, have the biggest smiles internally right now, right?
I really do. And Greta, I had not had a chance to say congratulations, but I'm so happy for you. Like, you worked super hard. You have 2 contracts now. And yesterday I had a real shitty day, but I'm over it. Today's a better day. But I like to give people their flowers while they're here. So great job. And I'm proud of you. I'm rooting for you. My time is coming.
There you go. Love
I
that.
agree.
Your time is absolutely coming. I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever. I'm proud of you guys.
Bill,
Yes, ma'am.
I want to say one other thing. When you have a bad day like that, I can't say enough that my coach has me doing guided meditations, or breathing meditation. But if you have a really bad day and you want to reset, just get online and Google YouTube guided meditation for anxiety or for positivity or for stress. And 15 minutes later of listening to this guided meditation, I promise you'll be reset, and it'll change the rest of the trajectory of your day. It's a real powerful tool.
And sometimes it's okay just to like I've had days where I'm like, look, it's not going to benefit me if I talk to anyone today. Okay, so I'm just gonna not talk to anyone. I'm done with the calls. Done with that. I'm done with this. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm pissed off. Any conversation I have right now is not gonna go well. So, Rachel, stay away. Kids, stay away. Clients, stay away. Right? And that's okay. Sometimes, again, awareness of where you are mentally is the first step. Cool, guys. Thank you. Thank you for the honor of being your partner. Keep up the good work and enjoy your day.